Hello everyone. I'm having kind of a quiet day, so I'm going to do another game review. I haven't seen this game at all. I don't know what's going to happen. This is between Amnykon and this player uses a Super Duper Games style Homeworlds command as their username. Um, H for Homeworld, Y2 for, well, I want to call this player Will, because that's their username on Super Duper Games. So I'm just going to call them Will, because I started trying to pronounce this and it was too hard. Okay, so this is Will and Amnykon. Amnykon opens with a double medium Gemini system. This has gone in and out of popularity a little bit. I think if any Gemini system is going to turn out to be really competitive, it's going to be the double medium. Will goes for yellow-blue banker. So importantly, when these players move out of their home worlds, both of them have the option to move to large stars. So this is a small universe. They can get to one another's homeworlds in just 2 jumps. Alright, Amnykon going for yellow to start. He might have been wiser to go for the blue, since there is already a small blue taken out of the bank, but all the yellow, green, and blue are now about equal in their strength, since there's one of each of those smalls missing. Yeah, okay, so Will, I think is, I don't know if he's known for this exactly, but I think of him as a player that often goes for the blue early on, and that's what he's picking here. But that might give Amnykon a chance to run away with a lot of the yellows. Okay, Will successfully gets the last blue, and so he might be able to break into the mediums pretty quick here. Oh, okay, so this is a trick I like. I don't know that it's always a good idea, but see if he commits. Yeah, Amnykon discovers a small yellow star with one of his yellow ships, so that both spreads out his yellows, so he's got more room to build yellow at his home, and by discovering a yellow star, he's taken a small yellow out of the bank, so they'll get the mediums faster. All right, interesting. Will, spreading out the blues and discovered a large yellow star, maybe thinking that if Amnykon gets through all of the mediums, that's one less large that Amnykon will get. Or Will might want to later trade this small blue to a green and do an investment build. Will need to get a yellow in another way before that happens, though, because you can't build yellow unless you already have one. Or Will might even be thinking of a desperation sacrifice blue to trade a ship for yellow once he's got larges in another color, probably blue. There are a few different things he might be thinking here. Or he may also just be thinking that if Amnykon at some point has to get into blues by trading away the large green for it. This large system is, of course, connected to Amnykon's home. And so if Amnykon trades this for blue and then tries to build another blue in his own home, this little blue is already connected to his home and ready to move in for an overpopulation. That's some long-range thinking, though. That's a long way off. All right. Building medium. Oh my. All right. Yeah, Will likes to do this too. A early shopping spree. Yeah, he was thinking about building a medium in his home during this shopping spree, but I think he'd rather have the large. Yeah. That's pretty good. So that takes all of the medium blues out. So if Amnykon is going to get a blue, it'll have to be by trading for a large, unless of course Will trades out one of these ships, which he's likely to do. Okay, Amnykon is also going to do a shopping spree. It looks like, I think he's not going to actually like the result of that. He's got 4 yellows in Alti. I suspect that they'll undo that. Yeah, I think they're better off just building the medium yellow at home. Oh, well that's interesting. I like that actually. So they moved a little yellow to Bleb, now threatening to do a shopping spree, building 2 yellow ships in Bleb for an overpopulation, destroying all of these ships of Will's. But I bet that Will move one of those ships out to make that a less attractive option. Yep. I think Will should move out one of the mediums instead, because this is still a pretty attractive target for Amnykon. I think if I were Amnykon, I would actually... Yeah, I would sacrifice the large green, build 2 yellows in Bleb, and then build a large yellow at home to destroy these 2 blues. Yep, that's the way. Okay, that's what I favor here. Okay. But Will now is in a pretty good spot to continue building these juicy medium blues. Amnykon is going to be back to building small. Yeah, Will gets big green again. Ooh, not the blue. No, I think, well, I'm not sure what Amnykon should do here. I guess that's good enough, but I think they're going to want to get some green. I think I would have traded for green instead. Well, but then they'd get left out of the blues. I don't know. This is a sticky spot. I bet Will's going to sacrifice again. No? Ah, all right. Well. Ah, they changed their mind. They thought about doing something else, but nope, it's a second shopping spree. They've almost cleared out the blues again. All right, how does Amnykon respond? I think they need to either trade for green. No, I wouldn't do that. I think they should move their medium blue to a green system so that they can build that large blue if Will doesn't trade and block it, which I'm sure they will. Oh. Actually, that's not bad at all. That's not bad at all. Except that it gives up one of the advantages Amnykon had there up to that point was the color diversity. Having ships of 2 different colors. How diverse. Which they've just given up. So we're reset almost back to the beginning of the game here. Will has a bit of an advantage, I think. Well, no, I suppose it's pretty darn close. All right, Will gets their large green back. Amnykon goes for large green, as I think they must. Offhand, I have changed my recording settings a little bit. In the past, I was using a noise filter, or rather a noise gate, that I think was making some of my consonants disappear. I have a tendency to mumble under the best of circumstances, and when my wife is taking a nap, that's the best time for me to do these videos, and so I try to talk a little quiet, and then the noise filter would make me almost unintelligible. But I've turned off one of the noise filters. I've just got a white noise filter on. I've turned off the one that tries to get rid of clippy noises that I think was making some of my vowels disappear, or rather some of my consonants disappear. All right, yep, Will is similar to the beginning of the game. They're going for more blues, opening up the mediums soon. Amnykon goes for a little green. That's really about all they can do. I guess they could move the little yellow back home, but I don't think they want to. They'd like to keep those little yellows out of the bank. I don't understand quite why Will likes the yellow system. I guess. Okay, my new guess is actually that Will wants to move to a yellow system because if Amnykon did happen to get a red and invade, then Will would want to be able to run away. But I definitely favor green stars for my blue ships as a rule, so that they can build one at a time. Will is relying heavily on his green sacrifices. Yeah, okay, so this is what I think Will may have actually been preparing for. Oh, is Amnykon were to invade right now, then Will would be able to run away. Yep, and Amnykon stuck with that, which is not a terrible move, I think. Could be worse. But Will just runs away. I guess the reason I don't like Amnykon's choice to invade is that it puts that small yellow star back in the bank. You know, Amnykon could move that little yellow into Will's home right now. Will wouldn't be able to capture it, and Amnykon could then sacrifice the green to catastrophe one of Will's stars. I don't think he wants to do that, though. He'd be badly behind in material after that. Okay. What does Will do now? Yeah, discovers another yellow star. Sure likes that move, and he's set up for a shopping spree again. I think of 3 ships of the same color spread across 3 different systems as the ideal time for a shopping spree, because you can do one of the builds in each system. All right, now Amnykon traded for a yellow. He already had a yellow ship, and I as a rule, don't like to trade to gain the same color more than one time if I can help it, but I don't think that's a terrible move. Although, well, this yellow ship here isn't really doing him any good. Well, no, I think he should keep it this way. Yeah, that's a good move. Amnykon can, on his turn, do a shopping spree for yellows, and Will then will be shut out of the yellows pretty thoroughly. But, of course, Will is going to do a blue shopping spree first. Yep, naturally. If I'd been Will, I think I would have put my large blue in Faust to be connected to Amnykon's home in the more aggressive position. Then again, having the large blue here in a medium system means that this large blue can move to any new star that Amnykon discovers from their home, small or large. So maybe that's actually the better choice. Yeah, Amnykon does the yellow shopping spree. Pretty good. Amnykon is behind on material now, though. Will has the second large here, which I think is a pretty big deal. And I think if I were Will, I might trade for red about now. Oh, he sacrifices. I don't like it. I don't like sacrificing blues most of the time. I think he should have just traded one of his larges for a large green. Or maybe red. I think I would have done green so that I could build it back. Nah, but he needed the red too, because otherwise Amnykon could sacrifice medium yellow to bring his large to Will's home, and Will could start attacking things. That's not so good. Okay. So I forgive Will for his blue sacrifice. All right, what does Amnykon pick now? He's going in for the blues. Amnykon doesn't have anywhere to build, though. So one blue ship is not going to do much for him, and in fact, trading for that medium blue is going to open up the large blues for Will. I think Will should be very happy with that. Yep, I think that was not a great choice. Oh, really? Interesting. So instead of... I think Will should take that back. I don't think Will should build green right now. No, I think Will should have built the large blue. Get those larges out of the bank. Get all the material you can. Okay. Amnykon now. Yeah, Amnykon needs green for sure. Giving up a large yellow to do it. Once I have a large yellow, I never want to give it up. I would have strongly considered trading the small instead. All right, so Will goes for another green. Interesting. Still passing up the large blues. Oh, no, okay, he's doing another shopping spree. Yep, he gets all 3 large blues. Yep, that's the better move for sure. Boy, Amnykon is way behind now. This is going to be a problem. Okay, sure, you can... Amnykon can build the... clear out the yellows again. Passes on the 3rd move. Oh, on the 3rd build. Amnykon could have built a not blue, since Will could move another blue to his home, but Amnykon could have built another red ship. And I think they should have, in fact, because Will does not have a red ship connected to Amnykon's home, and Will does not have any yellow ships at all. Will could not have sacrificed to bring his red ship to Amnykon's home. So Amnykon missed an opportunity there. All right, Will now. All right, building up more red. I think red and blue are the 2 colors that Will needs to catastrophe Amnykon's stars. That might be what he has in mind here. Or he may simply have in mind that if Amnykon invades somewhere, Will doesn't want to have to sacrifice his only red ship, and a large in particular, in order to capture it. All right. Amnykon moves his blue out, reducing the risk of catastrophe, but Amnykon can't build here. This is a colony under threat. Dioj could be invaded by Will's red or blue, either of the larges, and Amnykon would just have to run away. They couldn't do anything about it. I don't think adding more ships to Dioj is a good idea here. Okay, but that's not on Will's mind. I don't know what the purpose of that move would be. Will's looking at moving his large away from where it was defending this other blue to a system where it's not connected to Amnykon's home anymore. It's not at a yellow star anymore, so it can't move again. It could build the other large blue and then trade for another color and continue building, but these ships are trapped here. If Amnykon keeps a death grip on the yellows, then Will is not going to be able to use this ship. No, I don't care for that move from Will. All right, let's see what he gets up to. Amnykon trading for green. I think that's a good idea. Amnykon definitely needs more green if he's going to get anywhere. I keep saying he, although I do not know if Amnykon is male or female. I just sort of assume that a lot of people that play board games are men. So I keep saying he. I've been trying to say they to be more ambiguous, but keeps coming out. All right. So Will does in fact build another blue. Nope. Changed their mind. All right, sacrificed. All right, yep, that's good. Sacrificed the little blue, and this was one of the options. This was one of the possibilities I brought up earlier. Um, Sacrificing the little blue so that the large yellow star goes back to the bank, and Will trades for a yellow there in Gabbert. That's a good move. That's really good, in fact. I like that a lot. Will now can build the other yellow ship if Amnykon doesn't, and if Amnykon does, then Will can catastrophe Amnykon's only large ship. Amnykon might need to discover that medium yellow as a star. Well, Amnykon's in such trouble here that I don't know if it's going to make a difference. Amnykon hoping to overpopulate. Yeah, if Will now builds this medium yellow. Okay, well, if Amnykon does move the little yellow here, if Will then proceeds to build the medium yellow, like he'd probably like to, then Amnykon could move a small yellow. Oh well, I guess it would be from Dioj to Gabbert for the overpopulation. Okay. Amnykon sacrificing the little yellow, squonking the bank maybe. No, didn't like that either. Change their mind again. Sacrifices little yellow to bring it in. So that they really would like to bring a little yellow in here to Gabbert. And they seem to want to put a small yellow into the bank. I think getting a small yellow out of Dioj is a good idea because I think Will can more easily afford to lose a large than Amnykon can afford to lose his only blue ship and a couple of small yellows. Interesting. Okay. So ultimately, Amnykon decides not to go with this plan to try to destroy Will's large yellow, instead moving the blue to a new green system. This is not too bad, while Will has the material advantage, has plenty of large ships to spare. This makes Dioj a less attractive target than it was for an invasion, and it keeps this medium blue at a system that's not connected to any systems where Will has a large. So if Will wants to bother this medium blue with one of their larges, they'll have to do it in two steps, in two moves. And here in this new system, Amnykon could sacrifice their medium green to build twice, get both the small and a large blue. Then they'd have a second large ship and one that could help to defend their colonies, which would be very nice. Okay, Will, thinking about building a red, changes their mind again, ends up going with medium yellow. Yes, Will committed to it. I think that's probably the better move. Will's biggest weakness, I think, right now is that they had a little less yellow access than Amnykon did, and now they've got more. So Will, I think, now has practically every advantage. Oh my, really? Amnykon's looking at sacrificing the blue 2 ship to trade the little yellow. To trade both little yellows. No, I don't. Yeah, I don't like that. I think they should sacrifice the green to double build the blue. Nope, nope, not just one blue. Sacrifice for both. Sacrifice for both. Nope. Amnykon went with just the single build, which opens up a large for Will to build in either Will's home, risking overpopulation if Amnykon sacrifices their large to do it, but that is Amnykon's only large ship, Or Will could sacrifice the little green to build a large in Elrop. Sometimes I regret slightly the silly names that I came up with these, because Dioj and Elrop are both silly things to say. Let's see what Will decides to do. Spreading out the blues to build some more. I think that's a good idea. Although I think building the large blue at home would have been pretty reasonable, but even though overpopulating Will's home would require sacrificing Amnykon's only large ship, it's still, and I think Will would quickly win after that. It's still pretty unnerving to be without one of your home stars. Okay, so I think spreading out to a new green system is reasonable. All right, Amnykon, thinking about trying to overpopulate these yellows. Will, of course, can simply move one away, and in fact, probably wouldn't mind gaining the tempo, moving the large yellow away to Ipru, for example. Will is then prepared to threaten to move the large yellow into Hutronox, preparing to capture. So I think Amnykon doesn't want to draw Will's attention to his option to move his large yellow into a more aggressive position. Okay, Amnykon now sacrificing little yellow. No, changed their mind. Thinking again about overpopulating Gabbert. Looking now at discovering a large green star. Interesting. Looking at a few different options here. No, but Amnykon's indecisive. I don't think they don't like any of these options. I don't like any of them either. But this is something that I recommend when you're behind on material. You should spread out your ships so that no one colony is a very attractive target for invasion. Will could invade Juppel or Dioj with a larger ship and threaten to capture one of Amnykon's ships there. But since there's just one ship and there's yellow there, Amnykon can just run away. So those aren't very attractive targets. Will probably not bother with them. Yeah, Will builds one of the large blues. I think that's wise. Using their advantage to get even a bigger advantage. Although that leaves the other blue available for Amnykon to build. Will now sacrificing the medium blue. Will, I've noticed, has a tendency to sacrifice more blues than I do, for sure. Feeling a little impatient. Wanting to change the colors up right away. Okay. Golly. I think Amnykon is still pretty lost here. Oh, okay. Well, that's, that at least forces Will to react. By abandoning the large yellow star, putting it back in the bank, Amnykon is threatening to build. Oh, well, they may be changing their mind. They're threatening to build that large yellow star as a new ship. No, okay, so Amnykon is getting a red instead. No, changed their mind again. Maybe building green? Yeah, okay. I'm not too sure about the purpose of that one. Amnykon might have their eye on moving 2 greens into Ipru for a catastrophe, and then hopefully reinforcing their home with the large blue. Well, they couldn't even do that in one turn though. The large yellow only gives them 3 movements. 2 of them move greens into Ipru. There's only 1 left, and Hutternox is not connected to Amnykon's home, so that wouldn't actually work. So I'm not sure what the purpose of building the green there was, except to hopefully catch up on greens. But Will's gonna clear out the greens here. Sacrifice to the large green to build 1 and 2 and a red. Yep. So Will, it's worth noting, I suppose, all that Will needs to win is some more blue. Material-wise, blue. Will just needs more blue. Will has enough red to destroy Amnykon's red star, and has enough yellow to pull off a slow doomsday. Okay, that looks to me like Amnykon wants to keep that large blue star out of the bank, trying to keep Will from getting even farther ahead in material. Okay, Will now getting aggressive with their large advantage, threatening to capture the little yellow in Dioge, which has to run away. Okay, but creates a new threat if they'd stuck with that, moving the little yellow to Gabbert would create that overpopulation threat again. But they decide to move to Hutternox, which I think is the better move, since Hutternox is actually defended by a large blue ship. The trouble with this is Amnykon still only has 1 red ship, so if they had to sacrifice it in order to save somebody, they would have no red ships, and by leaving Dioge, I think maybe quite possibly they should have just left that small yellow in Dioge to gum up Will's chances of sacrificing the green to build that large yellow. Yep, so I think Will is going to sacrifice the large green to rebuild the large green. And, well, no, actually, they don't want to build the large yellow because Amnykon could then catastrophe. Oh, Will's thinking about a power play. Big yellow sacrifice. Moving the green once. Nope. Changed their mind. All right, yellow sacrifice, though. All right, moving big green to Amnykon's home. Moving large red to Juppel. Large red to Amnykon's home. Oh, yes. Okay, yep, that's it. Amnykon does not have a red ship to sacrifice to capture both of these invaders, so the best that Amnykon can do is capture 1. And then Will has a large red so that their remaining large in Amnykon's home can recapture it looked like these 2 ships swapped places because Amnykon restarted their turn, and sometimes when you restart the turn, the ships will move around in their order in the system. All right, Amnykon sacrifices B2. I mean, this is whatever they do is just for looks at this point. Moves 1, 2, 3. Yeah, okay, so Amnykon just abandoned their homeworld on purpose. And that's the game. Well, that was interesting. Will is a very strong player. Amnykon is good too. Amnykon's newer though, so I think this is the result I would have predicted. I think I would have expected Will to win, but Amnykon put up a good fight. They just fell behind in material, couldn't catch up, and ultimately, this is a next to both home stars being destroyed. I think one of the most common ways to lose is getting invaded by 2 large ships at once. at a moment when you don't have a red ship large enough to sacrifice and capture them all. And that's what happened here. All right, well, that was a fun game. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.